If you're peeling back the layers of what it really means to be well, let's talk about one of the most overlooked foundations of health: water. Your body is made up of over 60 to 70% of water. Every cell, every thought, every emotion depends on proper hydration. And yet, most tap water today contains toxins and microplastics that burden the body instead of nourish it. This is why I love Kangen water by Enagic. Through a process called electrolysis, the machine creates high pH, antioxidant rich water that's rich in minerals like magnesium and calcium. It's designed to deeply hydrate your cells, like drinking fresh water from a mountain stream. The higher the pH settings support mineral density and cellular hydration, which directly impacts your energy, mental clarity, mood, and overall well being. Here's a fun fact: just a 1% drop in hydration can increase symptoms of anxiety and low mood. Hydration isn't just physical, it's emotional and mental too. If we're serious about becoming fully human, fully embodied, and fully alive, we can't ignore the water we drink every single day. If this resonates, reach out. There's a link in the show notes to contact me directly. Your body and your nervous system will thank you. I want to tell you about a pivotal life moment that I've been reflecting on lately. I was 26 years old, sitting in a park, journal in my lap, no one around. My body was completely tapped out. I was physically, emotionally, energetically exhausted. My adrenals were non-stop firing. I was working as a consultant full time in a job I absolutely loved, supporting all types of business sizes with mental health and well-being across Australia. And although I love this job, it wasn't aligned to how my body best operated in the day. And in this moment where I was sitting in the park, silence, I was mourning because not long before that, my mother in law said four words that completely changed everything for me. She said, "Why don't you quit?" And instantly a weight lifted as I received those words. It was like I didn't have the key to the door for my freedom until those four words dropped in. And after that moment and sitting in this silent space on Mother Earth, I heard my soul voice loud and clear, which I hadn't heard in a long time. And what dropped in was Awakened Mind, Body, Spirit, the name of my business. And although my human mind wanted to say, "You have no business experience, what is happening?" there was no fear. It was just present. And that's the soul voice. It just arrives without any questioning, any pushbacks. It just is. And the inner urging was to follow this. And so I did. I quit my job, and the rest started to unfold quite rapidly. Welcome back to Peel the Onion, guys. I'm Olivia Maxwell, and I work at the intersection of psychology and soul. This is a minisode, so we're going deep and we're going fast. And today I want to talk about what soul intelligence actually is, not the polished version, the real version. So let's dive in. So, soul intelligence is not the voice that says, "Be careful." There's no fear. It's the nervous system that does that. It's the reptilian part of the brain that is there to keep you safe. And it's not the voice that says, "What will people think?" or questioning really if you're capable. the soul voice doesn't convince, it just lands. And there's a quality to it that's very hard to describe unless you felt it. It can be a clarity, a neutrality, almost like the weather, it just is. And when I heard it in the park, I just knew, not because I'd been taught to recognize it, but I knew it felt entirely different from everything else happening inside of me. It's like the voice that's underneath the you that you've been performing. And it feels so, ah, like this you-ness. And here's what I didn't know at 26 years old, that hearing this voice and staying in your body long enough to keep hearing it is a whole level of mastery. And I was doing this in and out. Whenever I provided space for myself to be and sit in stillness outside on land, I was able to access this wise part within me, which this reconnection always felt like a coming home, a softening, a holding, a nourishment that I could never receive unless I created this space, being with my body, the earth, and the simplicity of just being. Every time, and particularly with this time where my soul voice spoke more loudly than ever, I felt anchored and I felt so confident and trusting in myself and in what this message I received was pulling me forward for. Around this time, after I decided to quit, I sent the email of leaving this job not long after. I attended many feminine led classes and activities that helped me anchor more and more into my body, into my own energy. And yin yoga classes were some, restorative yoga classes were others, and kahuna massages. Oh, if you have not tried any of those, please sign up for one of those three in the next month at least. And also Qigong, I started to do Qigong and Tai Chi classes, and particularly through the yoga and the kahuna massages, I cried. I cried so much. Not from sadness, but from the sheer relief of just slowing down to feel what I'd been running from and to feel my own essence. It was a coming home, just this different pace. And I work closely with an earth-based shaman healer during this time also, who was a mirror for me to give myself permission. Doing all this on my own, I could have, but I didn't want to because I was already carrying so much and I was feeling so overwhelmed with doing so much and being in such change portal and cyclone, really. This mentor kept anchoring me back to what was important when I needed it most. And everything really changed from this point, how I viewed relationships, how I showed up in them to myself and then everyone else. A joy started to come more often. It started to land more in my days, not just in specific moments and then it would leave. It was there. But you cannot hear your soul intelligence just from your head at all. You can only hear it if you become still, if you create that space in your body, in your day, to be with yourself. After investing my time, energy, and money with a healer I hadn't worked with before, after working with psychologists primarily, even psychotherapists, yoga teachers, master healers in the yogic world, this earth-based shaman really opened me up to more soulful and deeper ways of healing that thought never got me to. that intellectualizing and shifting my mindset, affirmations, talking, reframing, that never really landed. It did, but then a week or two, or let's say another challenge came up, because that's life. It will keep giving you lemons when you are on the growth oriented path. I would completely derail back in the loop of self judgment, inner critic, doubt, which all built up. And I felt so frustrated that I kept hitting this wall. I just wanted to move beyond these patterns that I was aware of, but they kept running in the background. Now, this is the part that I was afraid to publicly name. I studied 7 years to get my registration as a psychologist. It was an undergraduate degree, got into honors, then got straight into Masters of Organizational Psychology, EMDR certified for trauma therapy, acceptance commitment therapy, all these titles and qualifications directly from the science world. So I did resist receiving an Akashic Records session. But I was at this point where there was no way thought alone was going to get me there, get me past this wall. So I was ready to try something different. And when I first worked in the Akashic Records, I definitely wasn't prepared for what happened. There was a simple recognition, a sense of, ah, this is what I've been carrying. Logically, my mind kept trying to understand what had happened in this session, but in my being, in my energetic being, I received permission to put down what I've been carrying. And no cognitive work had ever reached what this session reached for me. Past life connections were revealed, energetic attachments, contracts that were running beneath every pattern I had tried to shift for years. And I didn't realize that all these patterns were slowing down my manifestations. It was slowing down my desires, my abundance, my prosperity, landing in physical form. And when those deactivated, my body changed with it. It was irreversible. It was like once you rub the genie from the bottle, you can't put it back in the bottle. Wow, I said that so eloquently not. But you get the point. I access parts of my consciousness beyond what my mind could fully hold. I remembered multidimensional aspects of me that past, present, and future aren't separate timelines. They're all operating in the same time and space. That's beyond what the mind alone understands, and that's the point. This is why I weave the records through my work now. This is why I'm sharing it openly. It's a closet moment, stepping out of the closet. Not as an add on that's mystical, but as a portal to the layer beneath the layer. And, for those who've been listening to me now for some time, I'm all about getting beneath the layers. So I want to end with something practical because I think people imagine soul alignment looks like a meditation, like a retreat, mostly not though, because it feels like a Tuesday. Feels like being in the grocery store and noticing you're genuinely delighted by the peaches. Juicy. It feels like being in a conversation and actually being there, fully present. Not managing or performing, not the inner chatter and pretending you're actually interested, but fully there, real authentic joy from your whole being that you didn't choose consciously. It just happened. You're just fully there. And it's also that deep inner trust, the peace, the grace, the ease that runs underneath even on the hard days. For all those parents listening in, mamas, I know you know, but that peace still is there. And since having my daughter at home, having that home birth I had with her, that trust was further deepened in myself, in my guides, in Mother Earth, in the universe. And I know when I'm not in soul alignment, not because the energy disappears, but because the resistance is louder. I get caught in the air of distraction, of noise. But the soul alignment piece for me is the orientation. It's my anchor. It's my way of coming back again and again because I know I'm human and it happens from time to time where we steer off. But the soul alignment piece is my devotion to myself and my family and the world. Because I know the more I'm aligned with myself and soul, everyone benefits. And I'm doing myself and everyone a disservice if I'm not putting this as my number one priority day in and day out, moment to moment, as best as I can. And it all starts with hearing the voice, the one that has no fear in it, the one that was always there underneath the noise. And I know you know what I'm talking about. If something landed for you today, come find me on Instagram at awakened_MBS for Mind, Body, Spirit, or leave a review. Genuinely helps this work reach the people who need it. And if you're curious about working closely with me in my one-to-ones, they're officially reopen as of Monday, the 1st of June, working at freshwater in the northern beaches, offering all my modalities, Akashic Records, EMDR, trauma therapy, breath work, and a soul retrieval container that I've offered for a small amount of people. Everything's at my website, which I've included in the show notes, as well as an upcoming group event called The Opening on Saturday, the 13th of June in Brookvale, Northern Beaches. I've got some final tickets there, which is a body and breathwork journey, and I'm collaborating with two other beautiful women in the wellness space. Details are all in my bio. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, rooted, alive, full out.